So I'm just going to cover the following topics like why Python, why Python, who can learn Python. So meanwhile, if you've got any queries, you can just type in the chat panel, right? Fine. Why Python, who can learn Python, what are the prerequisites for learning Python, right? And how Python was built and how Python was derived, right? Python real-time applications, what kind of applications can be built by using Python? Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? Python usage, who are using, which companies are using Python, and what are the applications built by using Python? Python features as compared with other programming, and reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, right? So Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced almost 30 years ago, right? So why all of a sudden Python is suddenly super popular? Why all of a sudden Python is suddenly super popular, right? Okay. And Python scope and job market. What is the scope and job market for Python? Okay. Okay. Why Python? Python, observe here, Python, I define Python in 5 lines. I'm going to define Python in 5 lines, right? It's a general purpose programming. Multi-programming features are involved. High-level language, interpretation language, user-friendly programming language, right? User-friendly programming. Fine. Observe. I'll just brief you one by one. General purpose programming. So general purpose programming before Python, right? We have got some languages like Pascal. We have got languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? So if you observe this, these languages are purpose-based languages. These languages are purpose-based. They are not for all the purposes. They are for a specific purpose. These languages are used for a specific purpose. Yeah, is it for everyone, right? Can anyone please confirm once again whether my voice is clear or not? Just I got it. Okay. Can you please give a voice confirmation now, right?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Fine. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, fine. Okay. So we have got languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? These are purpose-based, not for all the purposes, right? They are purpose-based languages. So, but a language which is suitable for developing any type of application, we call such a language as general purpose programming language. General purpose programming language, right? Okay. Fine. Sampath, just stop your video, please. Okay. So it's a general purpose programming language. Python is a general purpose programming, right? Any kind of applications like web applications, automation applications, gaming applications, embedded applications, desktop applications. So any varieties of applications can be developed using Python, right? Okay. Multi-programming, Python is a multi-programming, right? Multi-programming features are included, right? So Python has taken the features from different programming languages. It has taken the features from different, for example, I'll give a labor example, right? Before we go with this, right? So here multi-programming means, for example, a labor example. If you want to launch a new product in the market, if you want to launch a new product in the market, right, to attract the customers, right, what features you want to see within it? For example, you want to launch a new mobile phone into the market, what features you want to see? Like the features what we see in different other mobiles, all the features in a single piece. If you are embedding all the features within a single piece, right, it's going to attract the customers. In the same way, Python has got the features of different programming languages within it. So it's a multi-programming. That's the reason we say Python. Okay. So Python is what? Multi-programming. That's the reason we call Python as a hybrid language. We call Python as a hybrid language, right? Okay. High level language. Next, Python is a high level language, right? It's a high level language. Okay, observe here. Observe. There are two types of languages. I'm typing here. Two types of languages. There are two types of languages. First is like low level language and high level language. Low level languages and high level languages. Low level language and high level languages. What is the, okay, low level languages like assembly level or machine level language. Machine level or assembly level language, we say, right? Assembly level. So here these languages, assembly level or machine level languages, they are not human understandable. They are not human understandable. They are not portable. Secondly, they are not portable. And hardware. So what is it? Machine dependent. I can select machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating system, right? So this low level language cannot run. They cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems. High level language like Python. If I discuss like Python, right? Python is a high level language. It's human understandable. It's portable and machine independent. It can run on all the hardwares and all the operating system. So human understandable, portable and machine independent. It can run on all the hardwares and all the operating system, right? Okay. So Python is a general purpose multi-programming, right? High level language. Interpreted language. Interpreted means line by line execution you are going to see for Python. So generally compilation languages, interpretation languages. Compilation means like C language, right? And executes the entire code at once, right? Interpretation executes statement by statement, which makes debugging easy, right? Python is a interpretation language. It's a cross-platform language which can run on any platform such as Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. User-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming. Python is a user-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming language which provides simple syntaxes. Which provides like normal English language. It's a user-friendly programming language which provides simple syntax which look like normal English statements. Okay. So Python, okay, Python is a general purpose. Any kind of applications can be developed, multi-programming features. That's why we call hybrid language, high level, human understandable, portable, and machine independent, can run on all the hardware in OS. Interpreted line by line execution, user friendly, simple and easy syntaxes, which looks like normal English statements. Okay. Who can learn Python? There is no prerequisites, right, for learning Python, that you need to have specific programming knowledge, right? So even without any knowledge, you can just update with Python. So with zero programming, or if you're from non-programming, right, you can update with Python, right? So Python syntaxes are little different as compared with other programming. So we'll be discussing everything from the scratch, ground level, to the advanced application oriented way, right? So so it doesn't mean that you need to have the knowledge of C and Java. No, right? Okay. How Python was built and how Python was derived, right? How Python was built and how Python was derived, right? Observe here. See, Python was built by taking the features from different other programming languages, right? Python was built by taking features from other programming languages, such as, so from which programming languages Python has taken the features from? First, like procedural oriented programming, like C language, example like C language, right? Yes. It has taken the features from this, and from object oriented programming, it has taken the features from object oriented programming, example like C++. At that, when Python was introduced, there was no Java, so Java was introduced after Python. So even Java is also object oriented, but okay, you can say like it has not taken the features from Java, but Java is also object oriented. Okay. Scripting language, Python has taken the features from scripting languages, right? Like Linux shell script, example like shell script. It has taken the features from shell script, and it has taken the features from modular programming. It has taken the features from modular programming, like modulo 3. So just like C, you can develop applications, just like C++, we can develop applications, just like shell script, we can write many scripts using Python and modulo 3, right? So if I talk about this Java, right, Java programmers or developers are strictly restricted to use only object oriented programming, right? Without object oriented programming, there is no Java programmer application. But using Python, right, with object oriented, without object oriented, with procedural oriented, with modular programming, we can develop many varieties of applications, right? Okay. Scripting languages, we can write many scripts using Python, automation scripts, especially in AWS, DevOps, robotics, right? We are writing many scripts using Python. As in modular programming, right? So as part of our course, I'm going to cover all this from the scratch. Procedural oriented, object oriented with Python, scripting and modular programming with Python, right? Fine. Example like modules. Python provides nearly like 89,300 inbuilt modules. Python provides for various domains, whatever domain you are from, right? Python provides a module. See, discussing about these modules, right? Okay. For data science, we have separate modules Python provides. Okay. For machine learning, right, separate modules Python providing, like NumPy, So like matplotlib, pandas, numpy, cp, scikit-learn, right? Separate models Python is providing for this data science. So if you're from data science background, you'll be exploring only those 10 to 15 modules related to this data science and machine learning, right? Not all these thousands of modules. It doesn't mean that you need to have the idea about all these thousands of modules, right? Depending upon your domain, what domain you are from that domain related modules you are going to explore, right? And if you're from big data background, right, the big data related modules, Python provides model for big data environment, right? Those models we are going to explore. Even for networking or testing, right? For networking, Python provides separate modules. For every domain, separate modules Python is providing, right? Okay, for testing or for test cases, separate models Python provides. And even for databases, for each and every database, Python provides a model. If you want to connect with Oracle database, right? If Python wants to connect with Oracle database, separate module Python provides, like cx underscore Oracle, and you can connect with that Oracle. And by writing Python statements only, you can create tables, insert data, performing all the SQL operations, right? Just I'll write some 4 to 5 lines of Python statements. I will execute it. Go and check in your database, table gets created. Just again include one more line, just execute it. You can check that a row gets deleted, a row gets inserted, right? Everything by writing Python statements. And for every database, for MySQL, right, it has got a separate module called PyMySQL or MySQL.connector, right? Python, using which Python can connect with the database. Every database, for even like SQL server, right? PyODBC, it has got a module called PyODBC, whatever domain you are from, right? For example, for OS or OS kind of activities, for operating system kinds of activities, Python provides a module, a separate module Python providing for this, right? Yes. And for each and every file, right, for Excel files, I want to create an Excel workbook by just executing Python statements. Go and check at whatever location you are specified and whatever file name you have provided. You can just check a workbook, Excel workbook can be created. And I want to insert a particular Excel sheet into it. And I want to insert data into a particular Excel sheet. And I want to just read data from a particular Excel sheet. Everything is possible. Reading, writing data, creating Excel sheets by writing Python statements. We have got modules like Excel RD for reading, Excel SX writer for creating Excel files. So if you want to work with any file format, Excel files, CSV, comma separated values files, or for JSON files, JavaScript object notation, key and value pairs, right? JSON files or like XML files, any file formats. So we have got separate modules Python provides. For CSV, the name of the module is CSV. For JSON, the name of the module itself is JSON, right? Yes. And similarly, like for mathematical operations, we have got math module. And for statistical operations, we have got many stat models are available for statistics. And for generating graphs or reports, you want to generate some graphs or reports, any type of graph, you can generate any type of graph using Python. Normal graph, bar graph, histogram, scatter plots, stack plot, pie graph, any kind of graph. Okay, we have got separate module for this, like matplotlib for plotting and visualization, right? Okay. Yes. So in this way, just I have given examples of some of this, right? So in this way, whatever domain you are from, either you are from for computer applications, for non-computer applications, for civil applications, for electronics, like if you talk like MATLAB, we have got and for computer aided designing, CAD or 3D CAD. So Python providing modules for these different domains. We are just going to see, depending upon your domain, you are going to explore only those modules. But to explore that, to use those modules, to work with the modules, how to import them, different ways of importing, renaming them, reloading them, you need to have the knowledge on Python, right? Okay. So here and Python real-time applications. Next is like, so modules, because of this modules concept only, we have got the Python has got a great boom. You may ask that why Python is suddenly super popular. Okay, I'll just brief you those at the end of the session. Next, like Python real-time applications. So now I'm just going to discuss one by one application where exactly Python can be used. Python real-time applications. So first, Python is mostly used today, like Python mostly used in creation of web applications, right? Many web applications are getting developed using Python today. Python also has got frameworks like Django framework, Flask framework, Pyramid framework, TurboGear. In this way, we have got many frameworks Python is providing for different environments. So mostly used framework is Django, right? So where it provides flexible options, flexible syntaxes, right? And it has got its own application server and its own database. And at a rapid speed, you can develop web application using Python. And also like programmers or developers are attracted towards Python because of its simple and easy syntaxes and very less coding. 100 lines of Java code approximately I can write within 15 lines in Python. 15 lines of Java code approximately I can write within 4 lines, right? Just I will show you by taking a task and implementing in this multiple programming languages, right? Okay. Apart from this, what are the other things you see, like what are the other applications where Python is mostly used today, like everything getting automated, right? Many automation applications like Python mostly used in automation applications. Java is never preferred within these automations, right? Means for implementing data science, machine learning, Java is not preferred. For robotics or for AWS DevOps writing automation script, Java is not preferred. So mostly Python is mostly preferred for this automation applications using technologies like data science, using technologies like data science, using technologies like IoT, using technologies like if you talk about the AWS or DevOps, right? Python is mostly preferred. So if I talk about this IoT, right? Just I'll be briefing about one by one application where exactly Python can be useful. So if I talk like IoT, right? Internet of Things. Today, if you see everything through internet, right? Online banking, online shopping, online exams, right? Online education, e-learning, online business like e-commerce, online communication like audio, video chatting, online gaming, online healthcare, right? So can say like you should have seen like smartphones and smart TVs. You are going to see like smart homes and smart cities, right, in the coming days, right, using this IoT, AI, data science. In a simple way, like IoT, if you want to define this IoT, it is a physical network or device embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity for collecting data, exchanging data, and controlling the things from the place where you are, right? In a simple way, it's a system of systems forming a very large system. Means electronic devices connecting and communicating with each other, okay? Accessed by using a PC or a mobile, right? Okay. So here totally the coding, 90% of the coding in Python, right? Okay. Most of the coding in Python, writing the scripts. Okay. If we come to this data science, right? The prerequisite itself is Python. For learning data science, the prerequisite is Python. So like if I say within this data science environment, right? Everything deals with the data. Data has got experience, data has got future reference. Using data or data science, we perform data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clustering, data recommendations, data. Okay. So it's a blend of techniques, I can say. The main technique, what we see in data science, ML, machine learning, right? The main technique, what we see in data science, machine learning. Without entering into the technicals of this, let me just brief you where exactly Python can be used within this machine learning environment, right? Just so so it is an approach where we provide some patterns to an application. So just you are going to provide some patterns to an application. You're providing some data patterns to an application, making the application to predict. So machine learning, it is an approach where you are providing some data patterns to an application and making the application to predict in the fashion, automatic fashion, right? Okay. So here, I'll give a small example, right? A bank has got 1,000 customers. Out of this 1,000, 600 they are paying the loans regularly. 400 they are not paying the loans, right? Those who are not paying the loans, we call them as defaulters, right? So here, how you are going to train the application? So those who are paying the loans, right? They have got some common features like their age, their income, their financial status, all this. I'm grouping them as X features. And those who are not paying, right, and they have got some common features, I'm grouping them as Y features. Using X and Y features, I'm going to train the application by providing these patterns, based on which the application tomorrow it should predict like if 100 new customers approaching, right, to whom to approve and to whom to reject. If 30 people have got X features and if 70 has got Y features, the X features saying that they can pay the loans, Y features saying that they cannot pay. So approve the loans for this, reject the loans for this. Who is doing? Application. How application performing it? It got trained by providing patterns, right? The person who keeps on providing the patterns and trains the application, we call him as the data scientist. This is not part of our discussion, but what are the various ML techniques? Regression techniques, classification techniques, clustering techniques, recommendation techniques, pattern matching techniques. For all these techniques to implement, you require a language. To implement or to code this, right, you require a language. So Python is the mostly chosen, mostly used programming language to implement all these ML techniques, right? Fine. And apart from this, where Python can be used is within this big data environment also. Mostly widely Python is used in big data side, in big data environment, right? So just I'll take 1 minute or two, right, to this where exactly this Python is used within this big data. So you should have seen like big data, the name itself saying like huge volumes of data. You should have seen like the data storage, how the data is getting stored, like KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs of data, GB, terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, petabytes, sotabytes, so on, right? So from TB onwards, we say it as big data or huge data. You should have seen KBs or MBs or GBs or even TBs of data. Do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated in the current world? If so, examples of petabytes of data generation, right? Yeah, if we talk about the social media like Facebook, right? In a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? Not in MBs or GBs, right? So huge data, terabytes or petabytes of data. Not only like Facebook, right? Today, if we talk about any application generating huge data, if I take 1 minute transaction, right? In a minute, how many FB post, Facebook post, right? In a minute, how many Twitter tweets? What is the data generated by Twitter in a minute, right? Huge data, right? And if I talk like what is the data generated by Google in a minute, everyone just querying in the Google, right? Data generation. And if I talk about this YouTube, right? YouTube videos upload, everyone just they are uploading their videos in the YouTube, right? What should be the storage capacity of YouTube data generated by YouTube in a minute? And if I talk about millions and trillions of users using email or Gmail messages, right? What should be the storage capacity of it, right? Next, like bank transactions, millions of people, like millions of customers making multiple transactions per day, per hour, per month, per year. Each and everything need to be stored, right? Huge data getting generated. Even if you talk about this telecom transactions, or if you talk about this e-commerce websites like Amazon, Flipkart, all this, right? Everywhere you see like huge data is getting generated on an average, like Google generating 800 petabytes per month on an average. Means 800 into 1024 TBs. That is what the data generated by Google on an average in a month. So, okay. So we have got some big data tools for those. Big data technologies like Hadoop, Big Data Spark, right? Especially like Spark has got a very high boom today. Like these two languages, these two technologies, right? Implementation goes in languages like Scala language, Python language, right? Spark with Scala, you say Spark with Python, you say like Spark with Python, like we say like PySpark. So, okay, in big data environment also, like Python is used, Python is preferred, right? And even if I talk about this AWS DevOps, right? So it offers, if I talk about this AWS and DevOps, right? It offers a structural solution, right? In terms of automating the tasks in each of the stages in DevOps lifecycle, right? Okay. So in AWS and DevOps, Python is used in writing many automation scripts. So Python is one of the best scripting language. So where it has got many varieties of Python libraries, which allows to write automation scripts. Okay. So, and I'll just list out one by one the various other applications where Python is used now, right? It's for scientific applications. Python is used for scientific applications, like scientific or numerical analysis, right? So even NASA is using Python today because of its multi-features, hybrid features, right? So we can use Python accordingly. Apart from this, Python mostly used in GUI or animation applications. So we have got models like tkinter, we have got models like PyQt for graphical user interface, for graphical and animation applications, right? Apart from this, today like Python mostly used for game development, right? Lot of games getting developed using Python. Single user, multi-user online games getting developed using Python, especially for developing games, right? Python providing a framework called Pygame. It's a framework given by Python, especially for developing games. Not only Pygame, we have got one more framework called Pykara. It's a framework given by Python for developing games. Apart from this, we have got some 3D rendering libraries like PySoy, especially for this gaming side. We have got many libraries available, many frameworks are available like Pygame, Pykara, and PySoy, right? And apart from this, Python can be used for testing or test cases. Okay, and it's also Python used for scheduling tasks. We have got Airflow for it, and for software development, Python is also used for software development, right? So, for example, software developers, you make use of Python as a support language. So we use like Billbot, Apache Gump for automated compilation and testing, and Roundup Track for project management and bug tracking, right? Even for software development, so this Python is useful. Apart from this, like Python in business applications, in business applications also Python is used, right? Python is one of the best choice for developing e-commerce systems, right? So we have got like Triton, what is it, a 3-tier high level general purpose application that developed using Python. Okay, now the one of the hottest application of Python, nothing but like database application, right? Python can connect with any database like MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, okay, and we can perform those operations, right? And especially for network programming or for network applications, right? Especially Python providing a framework called Twisted Python. Twisted Python means it's a framework for Python, especially used for network programming of for network applications. So just like in big data environment, in scientific applications, GUI animations, in testing, scheduling, software development, business applications, in database applications, networking, and if I talk even for audio and video applications, Python. So we have got some applications, most famous applications like Team Player, C Play, or some of these applications built by using Python, right? It means I'm talking about audio and video. And for web scraping, we use Python. Web scraping, right? Scraping data from different website, harvesting data from different websites, right? Okay, if data is in database, we query it. If, in websites, we are going to scrap it, right? Even for embedded applications, right? Python is mostly used for embedded applications. So embedded applications, the most famous well-known embedded application which uses Python for its computing is Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is the most famous well-known embedded application which uses Python scripting, right? Okay. And for desktop applications, single user console applications, right? Python is preferred. Apart from this, not only for computer applications, I said, right? We have got separate models like computer aided designing CAD applications, right? For 3D CAD applications, Python is preferred. Next, like computer vision, right? Yes. For face detections, for color detections, right? We use this Python. Next, like data analysis, for data analysis, right? Python is mostly preferred. And even for robotics. So these are mostly used. These are the applications where Python is mostly used within this web applications, automations, in GUI, in gaming applications, in testing, in business, in database applications, audio, video applications, right? Fine. Who are using Python and top most? Okay, who are using Python explicitly, right? And top applications built using Python. So just I'm saying, right, who are using Python and top most applications built by using Python. So Google is using Python for its web search systems. Yahoo is using Python. YouTube is using Python for its video sharing service. And Instagram built by using Python. NASA, I said like NASA using Python for its research and development activities. Uber using Python. Uber, right? Uber pricing algorithm we got. Okay. Uber pricing algorithm. So implemented by using Python, right? Uber. Next, so there are some applications built by using Python, like Dropbox built by using Python, Pinterest, right? By using Python, built by using Python. Okay, Quora, right? MMOG, massively multiplayer online games, right? Okay. Next, for example, a Maya, a powerful 3D animation, right? Uses Python scripting. Okay. Netflix using Python, right? Netflix. Reddit. For example, iRobot for military and commercial applications, right? Yes. And Ironport email server product, Ironport email server, right? Email server. It uses more than 1 million lines of Python code to do its job, right? And for hardware testing, companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this, they use Python for hardware testing, right? So I was just saying, like, topmost applications built by using Python and who are using this Python, right? So Google is one of the greatest example of Python web application, right? So first, the Google's web crawling was first written in Java, but it was so difficult. Later, it was rewritten in Python. Okay, I was just saying, like, you are much aware about this Netflix, right? It's a classic example of Python choosing, okay, for a company choosing Python, right? Netflix, it uses some libraries, Python libraries, right? Such as CP, NumPy, right? To execute numerical analysis and for security automation, right? And if I talk like Dropbox, it's a home for all your documents, files, photos, and videos, right? So Dropbox was written in Python. Reddit, it is also a collection of social news, right? See here, Instagram also, right? Video sharing, social media networking platform. So the prime reason for Instagram to opt for Python is its efficiency and practicality, right? Okay. So these are some applications built using Python, right? Okay. Fine. Now, so just I'll take 5 to 10 minutes more, right? 5 to 10 minutes more, right? Okay. So just, okay, observe this. Python comparison with other programming, right? Python comparison with other programming. Python comparison with other programming, right? So I'll just take now those who are from non-programming or zero programming, you can just observe this, right? I'll take a task and I'll try to implement in multiple programming languages. Accepting true values from the user keyboard and performing addition. Accepting two values from the user keyboard and performing addition, right? I want this task to be performed. So first, two major programming languages you see, right? First, see, if you go back from 10 years from now, right? Like if you say like 2010 or 2045%, the usage of Java in the industry, right? 45% Java is used. Python just 4% used. But if you go back like 2020, right? Java usage, Python usage 31%. Java like 19% used. So I'll just show you some graphs now. So to show you, like, I'll just open Google and show you this graph, right? The usage of Python and other programming language in the industry. So first task, accepting two values from the keyboard and performing addition. To just perform addition operation by taking the values from the user, right? Using Java, just observe this following code. If you've got knowledge in Java, you can just go through this following code, right? So just I'll take 10 more minutes before I go with how this, what is the course content I'm going to discuss. Okay, class sample. Public static void main string aux. Okay. Throws IO exception, right? Input stream reader ISR equal to new input stream reader. Okay. Buffered reader BR equal to new buffered reader. Input stream reader, buffered reader. Okay. So one second. Enter the first number, system.out.println. Enter the first number. So whatever number you are entering, right? You're asking to say enter the first number. Every statement ends with semicolon. Whatever number you are entering, taken as string format. br.readline method, readline, br.readline, right? So later I'm going to convert it to integer format. Int I equal to integer dot parseInt. Fine. So just I'll copy these 3 lines for the second number also. Just copy this. Copy this, enter the second number, right? Whatever number you are entering, taken as string s2 br.readline, right? Next integer dot parseInt of s2, right? Okay. So system.out.println, observe this system.out.println. I plus j, right? Okay. Closing this, right? This is the coding in Java, right? Okay. Fine. So if you know Java, right? This is the code in Java. But for the same code using Python, right? The same code using Python. So I don't know like how many of you have understood this code, right? So what is class, public static void main, what is input stream reader, buffer reader, even you can use scanner classes, right? System.out.println, enter the first number, read line, integer.parseInt. So it is too complex to understand this if it doesn't have basic knowledge of Java. So you're writing like 10 to 12 lines of code, right? 10 to 12 lines of code. The same code using Python, the same task using Python with not more than 3 lines. Just observe this code, the same task in Python. Directly I'm executing here, not more than 3 lines. And you can see they look like normal English statements. They are not as complex as other programming, right? Fine. X equal to input, enter value of X. Input, enter value of X. So just observe this coding of Python. Input, enter value of Y. Enter value of X, enter value of Y, print X plus Y, right? Print X plus Y. enter value of x, value of y, print x plus y, right? Okay. This is what the coding in Python. For the same task, this is the coding, right? So just I'll show you the execution, right? So enter value of x, just like Java, here in Python also, enter value of x, you'll enter some value. It will be taken as string type. So we need to convert to integer. Just to say int of, that's enough. In Java, we use integer.parseInt, just here say int of, that's enough. So I said, everyone, you are able to understand this, right? Python statements, they look like normal English statements. In the first line, you are asking to input the value for x. Second line, you are asking to input the value for y. Print x plus y, right? Yes. So just I want to create a separate folder for this batch, right? I'll save all these programs within this. Okay. I'm creating a folder with the name 7p Python 7 p.m. batch. Okay. Within this, save this code, right? Any name, demo.py extension, just run this code, run and run module, right? Enter value of x 10, enter value of y 20. Sum is what? 30, right? Value of x is 10, value of y is 20, sum is what? 30. So this is what the coding in Python, right? This is what the coding in Python. Very simple and very easy to understand, right? Simple and just look like normal English statements, right? So, and finally, as compared with other programming, right? At the bottom search panel in Windows, just type cmd and go to this command prompt. Type Python here and say enter. Python interpreter gets opened, right? We can easily communicate with Python statement by statement. It gives response for each and every Python statement. For example, any valid Python statements you can type here, 3 plus 5, 5 into 8. It gives the response. X as 10, Y as 5. What is the X value? What is the Y value? No, we no need to define any data type here like int X, float Y, right? X plus Y, X minus Y, it gives the response, right? Yes. X equal to hello, print X into 3, X into 5 prints hello for 5 times, right? So in this way, any valid Python statements you can type and interact with it statement by statement. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Now, based on the discussion what we had, right? So like, okay, just observe using Python. This was the code, right? Yes. From the discussion what we had from 1 hour, try to just brief me up. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Try to say me the reasons. It's just I'm unmuting you all, right? You can just say me the reasons from the discussions what we had from the last 1 hour, right? I want the sessions to be interactive, right? It's not like me speaking and going off. I want the interaction. So here as it is a demo session, right? But generally we will be going by step, very slowly, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Which makes Python suddenly super popular. Yes, yes, Naresh, user friendly. Yes. So first, like first thing is very less coding you are going to see, right? Very less coding. So like the programmers or developers are attracted towards Python because of its simple and easy syntaxes and very less code. Yes, yes, Asha Reddy, right? Code is very simple to implement, right? Yes. So very less coding Simple syntaxes, yes, as you said, simple syntaxes given by Python. Just now I showed you one example, right? Very less coding. In the tomorrow session, I'll be showing you many other code snippets of Python, right? You can understand much better, right? And hybrid language, multi-programming features, hybrid features, right? Python has got. Okay. And just now you can easily interact with Python statement by statement, interactive mode, which you cannot see in other programming languages, right? Interactive mode. And I was showing you all the applications of Python, right? Wide varieties of applications. It's not like purpose based, it is general purpose, right? Wide varieties of applications. Any kind of applications can be developed by using Python. Wide varieties of applications. And many built-in functionalities are libraries, right? Many built-in libraries, right? Okay, so these are the reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Very less coding, simple syntaxes, multi-programming or hybrid features, interactive mode, wide variety of applications, many built-in libraries, right? Okay, so like today, like Python is widely used, as I said, right? What are the various applications? It's not specific to a particular environment. So today Python is mostly used in every, so in every high-end technology, right? Python is used as an implementation language for implementing different domains, right? And okay, so if we talk like data science with Python, that is machine learning with Python, big data with Python, IoT with Python, right? Robotics with Python, AWS with Python, okay? Web applications creations with Python. So today Python is mostly widely used. Directly or indirectly, you are going to touch Python if you go to a software field. If you're administrator or if you're developer. For administrator, you are writing scripts like as compared with complex shell script, we can write Python script. We have got models like OS 6 in Python, right? Even if you work with Linux OS, along with this Linux OS, right? Python comes as a inbuilt, no need of any separate installation within this Linux environment, right? Okay. So as of now, like there is a, okay, previously like for Java, there is a tough competition, more competition, right? But we see very less people who has got great command in Python, right? So definitely if you go for any kind of interview, you can crack it, right? So as part of our course, just I'm going to take like nearly like 80 to 100 hours, right? 80 to 100 hours for this course in brief, in depth. We'll be discussing each and every concept, right? Nearly 300 plus code examples. Just I'm going to explain you statement by statement, right? By just typing and showing, not like bringing some pre-written code or keeping some kind of PPTs won't work. So the session should be interactive, right? As it's a demo session, I was speaking, right, most of the time. But in a normal session, like it will be like interaction, whatever statement I type, you people will be interacting with the expected output. What is the expect for the particular line, not the output for the entire program, right? What is the output for that line, entire particular line, right? So we'll be discussing from the scratch ground level to the advanced level. So step by step, even I'll be showing you in the real time how to work with the IDEs, right? IDEs like PyCharm, Anaconda distributions, like Spider ID, Jupyter Notebook, okay, VS Code, Autumn. So I'll be showing you step by step process, how to download them, how to install them, right? Parallelly, you people will be installing along with me step by step, right? Even if you got any error, you will be sharing your screen, right? I can see your screen. Check for the error, right? So from the starting from the basics of this Python, like data types, variables, operators, typecasting, flow control statements, if else, while, for loop, right? And collections, list properties, list indexing, list slicing, list to functions, list methods, nested list modifications, like more discussion on this collections like lists, tuples, tuple operations, their properties, their addresses, their functions, methods. Similarly for sets and for dictionaries. Functions in Python. So functional programming, different types of arguments, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword arguments, and different types of functions like lambda function, like map function, filter functions, right? And modules in Python, modular programming, and different ways of importing, renaming a module, reloading a module from import, normal import, right? Package in Python, right? Errors in Python, exceptions in Python, exception handling in Python, right? File handling in Python, reading and writing data, right? Next, object-oriented programming with Python, right? Each and every object-oriented features in brief, like class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, like static, non-static variables, different types of inheritance, and multiple advanced modules in Python, right? Advanced modules like Python database connections, Python connecting with databases like Oracle, MySQL, performing different SQL operations, right? And multi-threading in Python, right? And regular expressions, extracting required data. And I'm going to show you some models related to different domains, some models related to data science like Pandas model, NumPy model, Matplotlib for generating different types of graphs. Some models related to databases, some related to data science, some related to big data, some models related to regular expressions, models related to multi-threading, some related to operating system, some models related to graphics, right? What going to be discussed as part of this, right? So step by step, in a statement by statement, everything will be discussing, right? So this is what the course content, nearly like 30 topics I'm going to discuss in brief. So at the end of this course, you'll be getting great command on this entire Python language. Observe this, starting from the basics. Python basics, operations, operators, IDEs in Python, operate flow control statements, loopings, lists, strings, tuples in Python, Python sets, dictionaries in Python, functions in Python, functional programming, different types of arguments, total functions in brief, modules in Python, different ways of importing, packages, errors and exceptions, file handling, regular expressions, object-oriented programming concepts in brief, Python database connections, Python date and time, right? GUI programming, some graphic modules also, operating system models, some Excel workbook, and some data science related models, data analytics, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closer, and decorators, right? Web scraping, scraping data from different websites, working with different files. Apart from this, like introduction to this data science, models related to data science, Python Pandas, Python Matplotlib, Python NumPy. So 30 topics in brief it is going to be discussed, right? Okay. So you'll be getting the syllabus copy tomorrow to your mail IDs, right? So like today you have joined that meeting by using a mail ID, right? So that mail ID will be getting that this syllabus copy. So everything in brief, right? So this is what as part of the demo sign. Okay, tomorrow and day after tomorrow also people can attend to see more on this Python, right? Step by step how we deal with this, right? So it was just a demo, like step by step installation of this IDs and Python other things, right? Okay, so if you got any queries, you can just go with your queries, right? Either through chart pattern or through voice, you can ask your queries, right? Yes. So every session is a video recorded one. Every session is a video recorded. You will also be getting the recorded copy of the video that day itself. Sessions, every session to session, you'll be getting the recorded video. It's only viewable. It's not downloadable. It's, we can only, you can see, view it, right? And clear notes will be provided every topic wise. You'll be getting the notes every alternate days. You'll be getting the notes to your. Yeah. Any other queries, right? Any other queries from your side? Anyone? Okay, and even it doesn't mean that.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, one second, I'll come back. And it's not mean that getting the output is not the criteria here. Even assignments and tasks I'll be providing, right? So please be in mute for some time. 1 minute, Bharat K.
Okay.
So assignments and tasks also I'll be providing for every weekend on Friday, right? I'll be providing some kind of assignments and tasks to be worked with, right? Writing your own code so that it will build some kind of confidence in you. Yes. Yes, now you can ask,
Hello,
right,
sir.
Bharat?
This is Surya.
Yes.
Sir, totally how many days class will be there, sir? What is the duration of this?
So the duration goes like 2.5 months, right? It will be like 2.5 months. So nearly like 80 hours per side, 80 to 100 hours I'll be taking.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Naresh K, right? Okay, whatever it is. So Python is widely used today. Every like a software employee need to have the knowledge on Python. Directly or indirectly, you are going to touch Python, right? So not only like developers, even administrators also for writing scripts. So Python is one of the greatest choice for any beginners or learners or even for that experienced guys, right? Where we see Python implementation is different high-end technologies, right? Okay. So that notes everything I'll say whatever I'm typing everything I'll be forwarding you, right? Okay. Syllabus you will be getting, yes, Siddharth. You will be getting tomorrow to your mail IDs. Yes. Any other queries, right? Yes, Bharat, you were
Hello.
asking some. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. This is Venkatramlu. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Venkatram, you can go.
After completion of this course, are you refer to the job opportunities, sir?
So
Hello, sir.
one thing, Venkatramlu, right?
Okay.
Whenever you got command and the technology, right? Definitely, when you go for
Okay,
interview,
sir.
right? Compulsory, you can do that. You can crack that interview, right? The thing only is the levels. It's you attend some at least one or two interviews. Just definitely we can get because we are spending that much of time, 80 to 100 hours on this with multiple code examples, right? From the day one itself, everyone, if you're spending, if you are testing the things practically, okay, you are spending some time for just exploring the things of Python. Definitely at the end of the course, definitely. One thing, if you're attending the course regularly, even no need to just revise, right?
Okay,
You
sir.
can directly go to the interview and just you can. So it's like everything
Okay.
practical oriented, nothing theoretical here. And yes, Ramasinha, right? It's a this is an offer batch, right? This is an offer batch. Yes, you are asking the fee details, right? Actually, the fee what it was like it's a offered batch with only just 5K. The fees for this batch is only 5K, right? It's for an offer batch, right?
Okay.
Hello, sir. I have one
Yeah.
more question.
Yes.
So, what is the difference between Python full stack and normal Python?
So yes, 1 second. The Python, you are learning the entire Python language, right? Python programming you are going to see in the
Mm-hmm.
full stack, right? So web development, right? So you are going to for developing web applications, right? We have got framework like the Django framework,
Mm-hmm.
especially for web applications creations. Typical how to create a web
Mm-hmm.
application, you'll be
Yeah.
learning there. Well, how to
So,
create a web applications using HTML or all
mm-hmm.
this, right? Like interaction between Python database and that front end page, right?
Yeah.
Like
So,
how
is
the
this?
interaction. Yes.
Yeah. Is this
So
more? Okay. Okay.
for,
Sorry. You continue.
for those people who wants that right web development and Django framework, right? Especially I'll be taking some hands-on batch. There will
Mm-hmm.
be a hands-on batch separately. Those who want to create some web applications, right? You will be parallelly developing applications along with me separately. So
Okay.
for example, I'll be showing some 25 plus applications. Means
Mm-hmm.
first application you'll be doing parallelly along with me step by step, right? Once
Mhm.
we are done with that first application, we'll go with the second, third, fourth application. That's where 25 applications will be developed. That is a separate batch will be formed for that hands of creating applications using Django framework for web
Mhm.
development, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Later I discuss about it, right? That is a batch I'll be taking separately. That's where you need to do along with me. You need to develop along with me step by step. So if you get any errors, I'll ask you to share your screen, right?
Yeah.
So step by step will be being that is separate, right? This is Python. You are going to see the entire Python programming class.
So this is for only for normal Python. It's not for full stack. The demo. This demo.
Here is this here what we are learning Python core programming, Python advanced programming, and Python application oriented models. I'll be discussing entire Python. That
Okay.
is like web development, right? Applications. Fine.
Mhm.
So here you will be
Yes.
learning the entire Python core. Here you'll be learning Python advanced. You'll be learning and application oriented models for various domains. You'll be learning, right?
Okay.
Okay. For freshers, for those people, this is enough, more than enough. For experience,
Mhm.
right? If those who are what experience, we want to go with 3+, 4+. For those people, I suggest to go for that. But even freshers also, if you are interested and if you want to gain much knowledge now itself as a fresher using a command on this entire Python, right? You can also go for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So here, yes, understood. Right? Yes, yes, shake, right? Classes will be from Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays there are no classes, but sometimes at the end of that course, right, the last month, if possible, if I'm running out of days, I'll be planning some sessions on Saturdays. I'll be pre-intimating you about the timings, right? So on CSS, right? Yes, are we in the right? CSS cascading style sheets that for Python not required, but for web development you need to have that knowledge. But even if you prefer that course, right, it will be discussed that CSS topic, right? But here we are not going to deal with anything like CSS here, right? Yes, sake, yes. Once you got enrolled, once you people get registered, right, from that a group, a WhatsApp group will be formed where you can directly interact with me technically, right? Yes. For technical interactions, we'll have a group, right? Later for those who have got enrolled, who got registered later after 2 days, right? Fine, right? Any other queries? So everyone try to attend the session tomorrow and day after tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow what time?
To see
Same
more
time.
on this, how this tomorrow also everyone follow the same timing, 7 o'clock with the same link. You can join the session to see more like how step by step we go, the how the training levels goes, right?
Yeah.
And one more thing, yes, one more thing, yes, sake, yes. See the timing of the course. Once again, I'm repeating, right? This is the timing of the course. First 1 week, first 1 week or 10 days. The timing for 1 week, right, or 10 days, it will be at 7 o'clock. But after 1 week or 10 days, the timing for the course will be at 8 o'clock. It starts at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9, right? For the first 1 week, it goes the timing of the will go at 7 o'clock, but later the timing will be at 8 p.m., 8 o'clock in the evening, right? Yes, 8 to 9. Okay, it is pre-intimating. Okay, fine. Yeah, safe. Yes, Jagat, what was your query? Jagat. Yes, yes, Harsh. Anybody who wants to
Hello, sir.
right, like a certification
Hello,
programming
sir.
with Python, certification with Python, even right, what is, I'll be taking some certification for certification, what is the course for it. They'll be testing you with the core concepts, right? How is the performance measured, what are the syllabus, what are the question types, you see, right? Just I'll be demonstrating that. Yes, even yes, Harsha, right? So with that command you get from this course, after like 80 to 100 hours you spend, definitely you can work with those. And not only that, 300 plus code examples what I am going to provide, plus apart from that, nearly 200 code examples that you are going to work as assignments and tasks, where you are going to get good command of this, right? Yes, Sek, yes, Sek, if you want to work in Linux also, I'll be just demonstrating about how to work within the Linux environment, not a problem. How to run, you can use Windows, Linux or Mac OS, even if you got smartphone. Within the smartphone also, you can just execute this Python statements, right? Yes. Yes, after completion of entire Python, what language we need to learn for web development? Yes, Deepak, no need, just you can come for web development. For the web development, everything will be
We are
teached. The
practicing
prerequisite for it.
smartphones are
Yes, you can write the code within the smartphone and execute the code, Python code within the smartphones also, right? Yes. Okay.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
shake, right? I'll be showing one at the end, right? Shake. Okay, fine. Any other query,
Hello,
right?
sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Can you
go
hear
ahead. I
me?
can hear you. Yes. Yes, Deepak Kumar, I can hear you, right? Okay, go ahead
Actually,
with your query.
yes, yes, sir. Actually, I'm a very beginner in the programming. If I have completed my Python, then what the things need to create web page means web development.
What things? Okay, after doing this course, right? You want to go for web development, you're asking. So
Yes,
I'm once
yes.
again web development, right? So for Python is the prerequisite for it. Python, you need to have the knowledge on Python, right? Later that how you are developing
Actually, sir,
yes.
I don't have any programming language knowledge. That is why I'm asking.
See one thing. So clearly I'm saying with zero programming knowledge, you can go with Python updation, and later if you want to go, you can also get updated with web development also. Without any knowledge, you can update, because after learning Python in the web development, first the prerequisite will be discussed first. Later we go with that, right? The prerequisites required
Okay, sir.
for web
Thank you.
development courses will be discussed as part of the course. Why? Because everyone doesn't have that knowledge. So
Okay, sir.
keeping all the student in point of view, we will be discussing, right? Fine. Even that HTML,
Okay, sir.
CSS,
Thank you, sir.
if we go, right? Okay.
I know, sir. I know, sir. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I know, sir.
Okay, fine, right? Okay. So we are running out of time, right? So I hope I'm done with your queries. If I'm done with your queries, then I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 7 o'clock with the same link, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Good night.
good night.